Hello and welcome to another video in Kajabi in 5 minutes. This is going to be about the cross-sell section in the offers. And I've been talking about offers for a long time. You're probably sick of it by now, but we are coming to a close. We're wrapping things up, so that's good news. And then there will be anything you could possibly want to know about offers all in a row. Except, newsflash, Kajabi just released an update yesterday or today. Actually, wait a second. The day I'm recording this, not when you're listening. Last week. Anyways, whole bunch of changes to everything, including the offers page. Mostly design stuff in the checkout. I'm not going to cover it in this video or the next one. I need to figure it out first. But lots of really exciting and cool things changing in Kajabi. So that's just kind of neat. There will be more on that later. And you can check out Kajabi's pricing page to get some big updates there. But anyways, all that being said, we're talking about cross-sells today, and that is in the offers area. So when you come into sales and then offers and then go into your offer, at the top, you've got details, pricing, cross-selling. This used to be called upsells. It's called cross-selling now. And in this area, you're able to do some pretty cool things. Whether you want to do them or not, that really depends on the way you sell stuff. But this is about the functionality, not about if you should. So there are two things, the order bump and then the cross-sells and downsells. Both of these offers work, or both of these settings or features work using other offers. So if you've got main offer A, and you're thinking, you know what, I might want to bump or upsell or downsell offers B, C, or D. Those offers have to be made outside of offer A. So on your offers page, you'll have all of your offers set up, and then you come into offer A, and then you can come into cross-selling and use offers B, C, or D in the mix of things. Now, if those offers B, C, and D are just being used for cross-selling or bumping, if they're never going to be in front of the customer as a checkout page themselves, then you only need to do the kind of backbone type stuff, setting up the pricing, any automations, if products are allowed, time periods, that type of stuff. You don't have to actually edit the checkout page if no one's going to see the checkout page, and it'll work just fine in this cross-selling space of offer number A. So what is a bump? A bump is actually something that I think is pretty cool. And in the checkout page of offer A, there is a little box and there's a checkbox. You hit that checkbox and then offer B is then added onto the price in that checkout page. And that little box that the checkout box in is where you get to talk about it. There isn't so much space here. So this works really well if you've already talked about something else. Maybe you are selling coaching or a membership, and there's an extra feature, an extra session each month or extra access to whatever. And if you want to buy that, you'll be able to on the checkout page. So you've talked about it and you've sold it somewhere else, and on the checkout page, it's just a little reminder. You can put some comments about it on that page, but then there's just a little box with, a little bit of text that you can put there. Otherwise, it looks weird. And then you hit that and it just adds it on. So it's a way for people to add on something if they want to the main offer that they're purchasing, just a little bump. So that's pretty cool. And you just have to enable it with the little button there. And then a drop down appears and you choose, offer B or C or D, whichever one you want to throw in there. It's pretty cool. The upsells and downsells is kind of the same mechanisms. There's a get started button, you hit get started, and then there's an editing page where you can do a little bit of editing. There's a drop down so that you choose which offer A, B, or B, C, or D is going to be used in this upsell, and then you set it all up there. So you have to start with an upsell. You can't start with a downsell. The way that these things work is somebody goes to offer A's checkout page, they hit the buy button, and then something pops up. This is the thing that you get to edit that I was just mentioning. and it is upselling them to something else. And there's a button that lets them continue without purchasing this extra thing, or they can add this extra thing to their purchase. They don't have to put their payment information again. They don't have to put their name or email address. You don't collect any more information from them. It's just this thing gets added into their purchase that they just made. And if they say no to that, then that's where a downsell comes in, and you can actually have another something set up to be a downsell. And in this cross-selling space of your offer, once you set up an upsell, you'll see it. And then there's a little thing there, add a downsell to that upsell. So it's main purchase to an upsell pop-up. If they don't want that, then they can just continue, or they can go into a downsell. And I don't recommend this, but you could actually do a whole bunch of these. So it's like, oh, you don't want that? How about this? Or how about that? How about this? I mean, that would be personally annoying if I was experiencing that, but the mechanics is there. And so that is how it works. Now, when you go to the upsell, you hit get started, you're adding an upsell. That's what you get to edit. And it's not so intuitive as to what this is going to look like. So I recommend filling in all the things. You can put a little video in there if you want, explaining it, filling in all the things, saving it, and then coming back to the cross-selling area of the offer, and then hitting the preview button so you can see what it looks like. And what you'll see is the little pop-up that happens after somebody hits the purchase button, again, on offer A on your checkout. They hit that purchase button, the pop-up comes up, that's what you're previewing. And then you can be like, okay, this is what it looks like. Let's change that. Let's change this, change these words, and then preview it again. And then you're set. And that is how the bump and the upsells and downsells work within the Kajabi offers. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Thank you for listening. And I will see you next week. And we are finally going to be jumping into editing the checkout page of the Kajabi offer. And that's going to just wrap everything up for us once we get into that space. So I will see you then.